We're recording. Yay! Goody, goody. Okay. Happy Friday.
Yeah, very happy Friday.
Good morning, Saturday.
Happy
That's
Saturday.
right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Happy weekend, Brett. Yeah, it's always good news. When the weekend finally rolls around, just means you've got to look at how many things I haven't got done this week and how many things I've got to do this weekend. So, and my list is it's most of a page. Most of a page, so I'm trying to been whacking through some pretty deep stuff today, and thought, well, 3 o'clock's coming up mighty fast, so spent a bit of time on this, but I know there's a couple other people said they were coming, so we'll give them a minute. They might have had the same issue I have. I went to the wrong link, I think I did, but the one thing I didn't get time to do today was actually figure out how to run this through StreamYard and get it on YouTube as well. I will have that sorted out by next Friday, because being able to be in more than one format, I think makes us wider and more accepted. We have, and it's great that you turned up, Mark, because we have been testing the system and everything else. But this week we've been doing some pretty deep research on a pretty lofty goal, and so we just wanted to go through some of that stuff and where that lands, and talk about the trials and tribulations of it. And there are some things, I think, as us all being business owners, you've got to really sort of work out what your fundamentals are and how that lands and whether it fits that or whether it doesn't fit that. And, because otherwise you go down another one of those rabbit holes that causes time, frustration, and a couple of years of delays, and doesn't actually bring the dollars in. So, we want to avoid those and go for the things that are more in line with what the objective is overall. I think one thing of note, Brett, Mark, is that it's 147 days till Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So we're about, 200.
That sucks.
It does suck. It does suck. And the reason I found
year has gone so fast. It's crazy.
They say the older you get, the quicker they go, and they're not lying. I think
it's August here already. You see, you guys haven't hit August yet, but I have.
It's coming up. It's coming up in a few hours' time.
Yeah.
So, would you say the older you get, the faster they go? Faster the years go? Mine ought to be going the speed of light right about now.
Mine, but you just turn around and go, boom, another year is gone, and it's been 4 years this month since I moved to the States. And that 4 years has gone very quickly. I just heard from the old industry. I used to work in seasonal workers, and I got a message last night from a lady who used to be a customer at a very big employer for seasonal workers in New Zealand, and she messaged me last night, and I saw a post from an old client. They won RSE Employer of the Year in New Zealand, and so I was like, congratulations, team. They were a great bunch of people. And then I looked at my messages, and Damien had sent me a message just saying, "Hey, are you still around?" And I haven't seen her for probably 5 years since I last saw her, and it was 5 years since I last went to the RSE conference. And so I went, "Oh, hey, I live in Nashville, Tennessee now," and and then she came back and said, "Oh, great, I'm going to be there on the 8th of September in an RV. We're doing an RV road trip." And I was like, "Well, this is fantastic. We can get to catch up." So that's cool. It was a nice surprise. But I did, as I said to her, I do miss RSE, my old industry, and the RSE conference was an annual highlight. It was always good fun. And often it was in New Zealand one year and then overseas the next year and stuff. It used to bounce backwards and forwards. It was really, really cool time, and a great bunch of people. And quite an unusual conference where you've got a heavy mixture of government employees and private sector employees and stuff as well, and all pulling towards the same goal. It's a really good group, so a lot of fun. Anyway, I digress. I think this might be it. So we are in an open conversation, and Mark, you're going to find out quite a bit about the deep and dark back end of the old digital and what we do. So we may as well let's talk through it, Brett?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I think we do that. We won't just sort of want dragging this out and stuff and that. We repeat this and repost it and stuff anyway. So let's hit the main points. I came up with this idea of 1,000 customers by Christmas, and hence it's 147 days away. It would be 6.8 customers a day between now and Christmas Day. And then you're going, well, gosh, 1,000 customers, that's a lot. When we were talking last week, we're talking about the use of AI has shown me one thing in the last month in particular, but in the last couple of months as well, but certainly in the last month. We looked at it going, you know what, this is a volume situation. And this is something we touched on last Friday was, you can scale this much, much bigger than you ever could before because you can have it automated. So it goes off and does the job and delivers it. And what are you doing? You're running a system. That's where your time and input goes and just running a system. And the rest of it is done by AI. And so that is the new greenfields, the golden bucket, the bucket of gold at the end of the rainbow, however you want to term it. That's what it is. And I've noticed, especially in the last month, how much volume there is being advertised on Facebook and other social media platforms and everywhere else for low ticket stuff that solves a pain point and a bigger problem. And I'm seeing things like constantly see this advert for $99 SEO lifetime, $99 for a lifetime of SEO for your business. Now, if you think about where we position SEO, or we have done in the last decade, it's a couple of grand a month kind of thing, and more in a lot of cases as well. So it kind of grabs. If you've been paying 10 grand a month for your SEO and you see a $99 thing, is it believable? Probably not. Is it fixing the real problem? Probably not. I think this thing, for me, I haven't dived into it. I'm not doing their lead gen form because I don't want to be spammed by them. But it looks to me like a series of, we grab these links and citations for you, chuck it on there, and everything's done and dusted. I think, well, we've got a pretty thorough SEO, local SEO, AI-driven SEO system called Rank Turbo. And it's been the bane of Brett's life for the past year. He hates it. I love it. But then he gets to hide himself in the weeds in the thing as well. And I think it's pretty frustrating. We have realised this year in particular that it works best, and I mean it's so easy to run and it's very well pointed and stuff if you control the entire format that it goes and gets delivered in. So the working through a vibe coding website. Started playing with that 6 months ago and went, hey, they work really well. The delivery is really easy, but it had some restrictions from an SEO point of view that just didn't line up. The other thing we've had, and the frustration we've had the last year, is dealing with what we call third-party platforms. And that is where we come along to a real estate company, to a hospitality company, to a gym, all of those kind of things. And they all run in these third-party platforms that typically provide payment processing as their reason for being. And then they have the restrictive system whereby, I mean, all of them pretty much block AI crawl bots. And that's not a good thing from where we're coming from, because we need them to be able to affect our stuff to Google and get them ranking and all of those things. So, they have a whole lot of things where you just got to work your way around this and work your way around that. That is time that is not well spent. It's not easy money. It becomes long, frustrating money. Even though the dollars can be significant, doesn't matter because the time input the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So then we started looking at, okay, well, if we actually deploy, and now our vibe coding next level, thank you to Brett, it's next level, and and the editing of these things was always the problem. How do you edit code? Well, we don't edit in code anymore. We just edit by voice command, and it goes off and does it. So that means that the time spent in doing is a lot less, and you can make these things really efficient. And so the deployment of it is now hours, not days or weeks, and then continually days and weeks of updating things and doing things manually, even though we've built some very clever tools that go and do things. Schema, for example, schema generation, real easy. But then schema generation is all over the show now. It's something that AI does very well. It's very accurate. We don't need a Filipino contractor doing schema because they'll make mistakes. AI doesn't. So that's one element.
Can I ask a question? Not to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
That's good. Yeah.
Do you think one of the reasons why? Listen, you were into SEO far more than I was. It wasn't something I did surface level stuff. I didn't do the deep dive like you and Dawn and other people have done. Do you think one of the reasons why there's that $99 SEO for life thing is that SEO's become so, I don't want to say passe, but because of AEO, GEO, there are ways around it that are less expensive than the old school SEO.
Yeah, I do. But I think what they're touching on at $99 is one small thing. They're not doing. It's not a complete package. It's not actually going to move the needle long term. You may get a blip, what we call a bounce, but there's no way $99 sticks for life. It just doesn't. SEO is something that you can't just do one time and then just say, right, that's it, it's done. I don't have to touch that again.
Well, the thing is that surface changes anyway. Like every year or every 6 months, Google changes the game, and you're always chasing them. So you can't just say, "Oh, we'll do this now," and then nothing will ever change in the future. I mean, it's never worked like that.
I suspect a lot of it's automated and it's a foot in the door strategy where they'll upsell you into something else.
And which points perfectly, Mark, at what I've been working on this week. So 1,000 customers by Christmas. That is pretty lofty. But there's that, and this is where I've been working through the chats and the brain and trying to land on where this lands, because we know we've got several elements to our Rank Turbo service. The first and foremost is the GBP. We focus on the GBP and its structure, because if you get that right, then you can get the content structure and the linking structure right in the website. And those two things talking to each other greatly enhances your AI discovery, because AI trusts what Google says, and Google still own the back end of the shop. And hey, we crawl, we index, we do that. No one else does. That's what Google does. So getting the Google right to start with, number one thing. Then the website content, and there's a number of things that come behind that which are more technical, and so when you start getting those technical elements plugged in, as well as the content elements, and as well as making sure everything gets crawled and discovered and indexed, then those things line up, and that's where ranking comes from for Google profile, and it's also where, because websites don't rank anymore, but AI will go, this is answering your inquiry. And so those two things have to line up together. The third part, and this is the really unseen part, and it's kind of the most difficult sell part as well, because business owners don't understand the language that you're talking, all of these elements. I know what a Google profile is, I know what my website is, and that makes sense, what you're saying about content and categories and all those kind of things. That all makes sense to me. That's about the limit of understanding. When you start talking about interlinking pages and having the right connections from a specific page to something else, and then the different types of schema and alt image text and all of those things, and that's the real technical stuff that they don't get, right? And they go, and it's just over my head, and they're just going, well, you're just trying to make money out of me, is their natural thing, is like, oh, you're just trying to up the bill and everything else and that. But that's the stuff that actually costs as well. Getting that additional stuff costs money. You got to buy those links and everything else too. So I come back to my original point. 1,000 customers at $47 a month recurring for something that runs very basically and is fully automated by our genius Albert brain, is really, it's realistic and achievable if it's fixing a pain point. And the number one pain point from my research this week, number one and number 5, is what's AI saying about me, as in my business? What's AI saying about my business? And how do I come up in AI search? Those they're kind of the same, but that's what it is. What is it saying about me? It's something I can't control. And how do I wind up getting preferenced over my competitor down the road? That is the business owner's number one pain point. It's not, oh, can I get my website to look flasher and everything else and stuff and that. Everyone has this design aesthetic thing, and they get stuck on it. And I've said this to so many customers. The internet doesn't care about how pretty the pictures are on your website. It could not care less. It never will care. It doesn't care. It cares about the data structure that those pictures are presented to it in. That is all the internet cares about. is you give me the right structure and I know what this is and I'll use it. If you don't give me the right structure, I don't know what it is and I won't use it. It's as simple as that. So the internet doesn't care about how pretty your website is. But, the internet does. And at the end of the day, a customer told me this was your website is like your Tinder profile. Is that when somebody comes and lands on it, they go, oh, I'll click that and have a look at it, because it needs to be attractive for them to click on it. And then their interaction is them swiping left or right. And I'm not sure which one is which, because I've never had to use Tinder, and touch wood, I won't have to. So, but it's the getting the swipe is the reason that they've got to come and have a look at it, and it has to be good looking for them to look at it. But for that profile to have come up in their feed, that's our job. We're the ones that make the profile appear in the first place. So it gets found, right? And then you've got a chance at converting, swiping left and swiping right. I thought it was a really good analogy, and I've used it several times since. So anyway, I digress and get back to the main thing here. And so 1,000 customers at $47 a month by the end of the year, by Christmas. Gosh, well, you've got to package something that is worth $47 a month. Too many, obviously. And I think that I went through our product suite, what we do, and everything else. Now, there's two bents to this, and this is where we've started, like, sort of, it's not all finished. It's still very much boiling away and working it out, because I think there's a couple of options. One is you pay like $29 for a report that comes back with, here's the structure that your Google profile should be. Here's what it is. Here's what it should say, because these are the people that are ranking, and this is what theirs says, right? In your location and everything else. Our AI search checker tool literally can do this for us as well. So someone comes into that lead gen and goes, they've already whacked in their Google profile, see if they've got a YouTube channel or not. And we go off and say, hey, this is what AI knows about you, and here you go. It's like a free tool that's a lead gen for us, right? Then he went back to them and said, right, okay, well, for $29, we'll give you the exact structure that your Google business profile should be. Now, we're not going to do it for $29, but we'll say, here's what it is. Here's a list of it. You download this, it comes back in a report and goes, this is what it should be. That'll make it work, right? You purchase that, it's your pain point, because we've gone into this process explaining to them, Google's got to be correct. Your website content has to be correct. And then this data structure has to be correct as well. That's our upsell is, okay, so for $47 a month, we will plug in your Google profile and update these things here, and we will work our way through this much content that lines up with it too, right? But if you want it to happen quickly, right, then you pay us $3,997, and we will deploy a refurbished Google profile for you, and we will redeploy your website in the correct data structure, everything else and stuff like that. And then you can then buy upgrades from that for linking package, other things, more content added over time. Certainly our local expert thing comes into play with many, and going, well, you've got all that presented to the internet correctly. Now you need to tell AI why you're an expert and show them and demonstrate that ongoing. That's what the service does. So everything is delivered automatically, as opposed to the manual process of the past where we'd go and make that now. And we might generate things like videos with AI, but we still have to go and punch it in there and everything else in that. This is more about onboarding and bringing someone into it. They're at this level here, and they want this, and it goes off and does it and deploys it automatically. All we do is maintain the system.
Yeah, Richard, I was just thinking that, like, because you're onboarding them with tools and systems that we already have, like, we're not trying to create something new. We're already onboarding them with the tool that we have that describes what are the pain points that all of our other products actually already solve. So we're feeding them straight into the funnel for our higher ticket items, rather than just trying to come up with some lead magnet that is unrelated. Like, there's a direct line from the AI search checker to all of the stuff that we can deliver for them and that we've built in the background. So I think that's really important. We're not just trying to find some quick lead magnet to chuck up some PDF or something that has no connection.
Yeah,
I
good
think
old Corey and Tauranga. He comes out with this post Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was like, hey, find out what AI says about your business, and it was a custom GPT prompt. So I take my business, I go to my Chat GPT, whack in this prompt, the link to it, and everything else, and that opens up in my GPT, and then I whack in there. Oh, I'm Bob's piano wiring service in Tikawiti, and hit that, and then comes back and goes, you're the number one piano wiring service in Tikawiti. You're amazing. I because it already knows me. It knows I'm Bob. It knows that this is what I do and stuff. And it's going to tell me everything that I want to hear from it because AI lies to us. So that tool is the right idea in lead gen and everything else. And it's the pain point that most business owners are asking. But it doesn't actually offer anything credible other than what you want to see and hear. It doesn't work. So that's why I think AI Search Checker is far more detailed in hitting these data points, and it's going away to an independent system outside of your computer to generate it as well. And that means we've got trust and integrity built into it straight away.
I think one of the things too, Richie, is we should probably explain is that I know Richie's referred to the brain a few times. So what we've built is a bunch of different AI agents that all can communicate and be coordinated. So we have one sort of coordinating agent that's got access to our other AI agents, and each AI agent basically has a specific job to do. And some of them are like there's a librarian, there's a coder, there's a marketing person, there's a UX person, and so they all have the access to talk to each other and everything, and so they can actually go away and have conversations about what we are asking, and then come back to us with team responses, which is quite weird when you think about it. But the main thing that it gives us is as we communicate with it, and like now all of our communications with chat are done through this one tool, and we've got it synced. So whenever Richie has a conversation with it, I can access that. Because we're in different time zones. So while Richie sleeps, I can go and say, well, what's Richie talked about for the 1,000 customers a day? And I can actually read the documents that have come out of that. He can do the same with mine.
Yeah, but
The
I get
most important.
to edit my language though, because some of
I haven't told you about the. I haven't told you about. There's a specific instruction in there to strip anything nasty I say about you out of any written document. So that's real. I'm not making that up. And I'll sit here and I'll get frustrated. Oh, bloody Richie this, bloody Richie that, and it was recording it all. But anyway, I think the main thing is that it's because we're doing everything in there now. It actually keeps documents on all of our business. So when we say to it, "What's a good lead magnet for this business?" It's not just making it up out of thin air. It's going and reading what is our business, what is our product, what is our market, what are our services, and that's all recorded already. So as soon as we ask it a question like, we want to get 40 or we want to get 1,000 customers before Christmas, how are we going to do it with our existing suite? And it knows what our existing suite is, and if it's forgotten, it will go and read it again and come back, and it's a game changer for the way that we're working. So yeah, that's something that we're
yeah, and I
developing.
think
Like we're still building it because we're still trying to make it work. Whenever I've seen people use these kinds of systems, these AI agent systems, it's always just one person, one computer, and we're trying to build it so that it works across multiple people. And it's got its glitches and everything. We've had some teething issues getting it all set up and that, but by doing that we're unlocking all of that and hopefully be able to make it the whole concept available to other people who are working in businesses with partners or even just by themselves.
yeah, and I think
The,
the especially the website building and what I've been doing this week in high level in building forms and funnels and getting it to do actions in high level for me. And it kind of seemed really clunky at first, and especially what I've been doing today, it's really sharp and it just goes off and says, yeah, I've done that. And of course, I've done quite a bit of invoicing and stuff this week, and it'll go and update a subscription, create the invoice, everything else in that, leave it in draft for me, and so that draft the email that's going out for that as well, and everything else in that. And then all I've got to do is just go through and go, yep, that's all correct and done. And it's literally it's been word perfect every single time. So, or it'll come back and go, hey, you actually suggested this and now you're doing that. Are you sure? I think you're making a mistake, and it's really good at picking up on those things, going, you want to keep this vibe, or you want to keep this going, or do this instead and stuff, and that, and it just grabs you before you make a mistake. So I'm thrilled with it, and it's doing more and more, but it's also running multiple sessions. I'll be working in multiple sub accounts at the same time, and I'll be working on multiple things as well. And so that is really exciting. And that I'm sort of going, okay, I'm actually doing 6 things at once. And literally this morning I was doing 6 things at once. Plugging it into Canva was a great idea the other day. And then I've been updating the Google Drive folders, because it'll just go and find what it needs, take it off to Canva and go, oh yeah, I found what you're doing with this in Canva and that, and I've fixed that and done that, and I saved it back there for you as well. And you're going, or it'll just go, all you need to do is save this to there and it's all done. And so one clear instruction, and then I can even chuck it and just send that through. And so it's awesome. It's a productive genius. But that's the whole point. A $47 sale per month that is actually, it just goes and does these things and lines them up and does that now and that now and that now. I think the $47 level is pretty basic stuff. It's like, okay, we're just going to chip away at this and chip away at that and everything else. That you can't include linking at that price. A link costs that, so that's not going to work. But I think the linking side of things, my thoughts this week were around, it's in part of an upgrade top tier, as in like, okay, you want the full shebang, that costs this much money and it gets delivered in this time frame. And then there's this ongoing element that comes from that, and that could be a very realistic price, So yeah, I think we've worked through the pricing dynamics of it, but the whole idea is that instead of it being, hey, we've got to charge $6.97 a month for this, otherwise we're not making any money, is no, we can actually charge $197 for it because we don't actually touch it again. We just set it up and it runs, and all we do is wait for an automated generated report and everything else and stuff, and that it's just fully automatic. And I'd rather have 200 people at $197 a month than 28 at $6.97. It's a far bigger return, and it's a far bigger use of the tools that we've built. So yeah, it's that's where the whole thinking has come from, and stuff. Getting it to market. Our goal here at Agency Turbo is to perfect the suite, have all of the collateral that comes with it as well, and be able to plug it in for our members and our partners that are going to go, okay, well, you've got everything built and developed there, including how to go out and get them in the first place. Plug me in, and then all you've got to do is monitor it. And you're never going to avoid talking to people. That's what this game is all about. You can't do everything through a computer. And I think that's been it's a concept that people have been selling for years, is you just plug this in, and you buy this product and something, it goes out and $10,000 a month customers fall out of the sky. It's not true. It's simple as that. It's not true. Is that $10,000 a month customers don't fall out of the sky. $1,000 a month customers don't fall out of the sky either. There is work in doing them, and there is also relationship. You've got to build integrity and trust, and you do that by having results published and by having other people going. I talked to Richie and Brett. We did this a couple of months ago. Unbelievable. Look at this. This has happened and that's happened as well, and we got this too. Incredible. That is the number one source of business there is someone that walks around going, you got to talk to these guys, and that's exactly what we're after, So put yourself in that danger, because that business it just keeps on giving, it just doesn't stop giving. So but you got to get a couple to start with. They come in for a $29 report that they're going, I've been waiting. I need to find this out. I want it, and you've got legitimacy around what you're offering, because you can prove that it's legitimate, and this is why this works best. No drama. It's a way laughing, and if 2 or 3 people come in that way, those 2 or 3 will turn into 20 or 30, and the 30 will turn into 150, and then 150 explodes. So and put yourself in the right space. Brett sent me a really good thing the other day. It was about you need to be, what was it, the person that stands up and just talks about it in your community, and so that kind of visual, hold an event where you say, hey, come along and we will analyze your AI searching and everything else. That we'll do it right here, right now. You come along to this thing, and what is that? What are you doing? You're doing a show and tell, having people sign up on the spot. You just got to give them a reason to be there. And I'm trying to line up exactly that with the NEC here. Is I'm just going to do a hey, well, you want to find out what AI actually knows about your business? Come to this, and I'll show you. And do a 1 hour lunch talk and that, and just showing, hey, this is what this does. You give me your business right here, right now, and I'll show you exactly what AI is saying about it. And imagine how many people will sign up in that room, or to doing that. So yeah. Anyway, you got anything to add to that, Brett?
There's a lot there, Richie. It's hard to keep up with you, that's for sure. I mean, we know that's a thing. So, no, I think that whole AI meetup idea is something definitely worth exploring. Like, we haven't actually explored that yet, but I think we should. And it's essentially, just by getting up in front of an audience and talking about AI, just the fact that you've organized an event and you're standing up there confidently talking about a subject, it automatically makes you an authority, and people will buy from people they trust. And you've just gotten up there, you've proven your worth by even holding a meeting, even if you're faking it. People, they don't know that, right? And so you're granted all this automatic authority just by being up in front. And then the sale after that becomes really, really easy, because you don't have to break down that trust barrier. They've already got that just from seeing you talk. So I think that's definitely an idea worth exploring. And yes, it takes time, and yes, it's in real life and everything, but the big deals come from the real life. They come from the recommendations. So you get a room full of 20, 30 people, small business owners, and they'll talk to other people. They'll talk to their friends. Oh, I was at this thing the other day, and I was talking to this guy, and it just snowballs. So definitely something that should be in the back pocket as an idea when trying to expand. But yes, I know we sit here talking all about all the automation and everything and getting everything 100%. That's really the delivery side. But if you want to start getting snowballing clients, you want to also be in all the channels that make sense, and in-person channel is one of them that people often forget about.
Yeah, very much so. And I've been advocating this with AI control room for the last 3-4 months in particular. Is shake someone's hand. Because shaking someone's hand is the fastest way to getting business than communicating through emails and not being real. And I mean, there are members in there that going, hey, there's one guy in particular, a hell of a nice guy. He's got a disability, and he's like, well, I need to do it remotely. And as I said to him, I said, it's not that it doesn't work. It's just that the way I've found to quicker success is by walking in the door, shaking the hand, and so that's a program that I've got here locally that is working. It involves joining a not-for-profit association, and we put a door sticker on, and that door sticker is delivered by me, and the link that goes between the two businesses, that's organized by me as well. So it's the touch point that we're buying in that process. There's a lot of work done for that organization, as you pointed out, Brett. That is essentially not paid work, but it fits the narrative of what we're saying, is that you can't just go and have cold email and messaging and these things. You've got to have a whole raft of things to give people a reason to go, yeah, I want to find that out. And one thing doesn't work anymore. You need to have 10 or 12 things on the go at once. And that means that
I mean, that's a really important thing too. I mean, that's that whole sort of omnipresence thing that you have to, if you're showing up in multiple places and people see you on Facebook, and then they see you associated with, like, say, a local non-profit, and then they see you at their door, and then next time they turn around, there you are on YouTube. And it's that whole, like, oh, this guy's everywhere. It must be, like, absolutely amazing. And 90% of it is just automated. You sit out and talk to a camera, and then it just goes out to all the different channels. And then the bits that can't be automated are probably the most powerful ones where you're in person.
Yeah, which means
The
you've got
in person is supported by all the other stuff that you do. Like when they go, so you go and meet them in person, and then while they're deciding, whether to trust you or not, they're probably on their phone looking you up on Google and looking you up on YouTube and everything. And they go, oh look, they've got a YouTube channel. Oh look, there they are on Facebook. Oh look, there they are there. And then because they've done that for the next week, they're going to get your face in their face every time they look at their phone. There's going to be you looking at them.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to the two things there is that it's that omni, as you said. It's the wider ecosystem consistency in that you can't deviate from your core message. It's got to be kind of repetitive, but you have to be stick to the value of it, and just don't start wishy-washing over here and talking about this 1 minute and then jumping over and talking about that over there, which they're like, well, I've never even heard about that before, and because you're just going to confuse people and you distance them straight away. So you got to keep on being like a broken record, talking about the same set of circumstances and all of those things, but put yourself in different environments, be consistent across all of that. I think the number one thing you've got to get right before you get to that is making sure you've got your offering lined up. And that's the core product stuff. And I mean, I bang on about it all the time. And that, so Rank Turbo, Content Turbo, Local Expert, Autopilot, that's what we do. We do those things. Now, there's little things that come out of some of those, other functions and different things in that day, but that's what we do because all of those things actually work together. And so when we turn around and go, we were very early in the piece going, we're an AI agency. We do AI stuff, and before now everyone's an AI agency. The whole market has shifted to AI is everything. You've got to be in this, you've got to be in that. But I still think we've actually fitted products and services to what businesses are looking for. And we've branded them at the same time rather than just being like everyone else and saying, oh, we use this, we use that. No, we actually have our own ones that are proven, tested, they work, and they deploy very well, and they complement each other, and they fix the pain point. And that's the whole goal is if you're not fixing a pain point for a business owner, you're just wasting your time. You're wasting their time, and you're just playing with a computer for fun. So that's the whole idea. Anyway, I could go on about it all day long and everything else, but what we're chasing is the 1,000 before Christmas. Now, if that's $1,029 reports, I'm happy with that, because I guarantee out of those $29 reports, those 1,000 people that buy those, if we're lucky enough to get 1,000 people to buy those, that's the whole idea. Because what's the hit rate out of the conversion that comes into those products and that product suite and everything else as well? And that's where the real money lies is, if 1,000 people buy a $29 report and 50 of them wind up at $600-700 a month, the full McCoy, and 120 wind up at $200 a month, and 480 wind up at $47 a month, I'm happy. Especially given the input versus the output. The time in doing from our end is minimal. We're not going to have to go and hire 15 Filipino VAs to run all this stuff. We don't, because we've already got a brain that's running it for us. And so we stay on top of that. And if it requires a person to just run the brain, fine. We'll hire a person to run the brain. That's fine. But we've built it so that we can just run it ourselves. And I think that...
I'm sorry. Do you have a landing page for this?
Not essentially for all of that at the moment, but you're welcome to go and look at Yole Digital, USA, yoledigital.com. That explains the product suite and everything else. And then the purpose of Agency Turbo is to bring this so that you can join in with Agency Turbo and have access to these tools and systems and the delivery of. That's not something that we can just go, oh yeah, you just write us a check and we'll just download that onto your computer tomorrow. There is, and this is what we've been working through the last couple of weeks, is how we take it and deploy it to another system and have that contained and able to be used and everything else. And then what does the support structure look like with that? What's the engagement factor? What do we have to do? We have to get together for an hour every week and go over this part over here, and there's a number of ongoing considerations as well. But that's the idea, is to come along and say, hey, this is a suite of stuff that other agency owners can do, and typically that agency owner will be someone who's 50 plus, solopreneur. They work on their own. That's exactly what we're making this stuff for, is somebody that doesn't have a big team, massive resource and everything else in that, to be able to go, okay, I can get that, and I can go and get those customers this way, and I can deal with that as it comes in, and I can build it. And that's the scale. That's the way to scale with AI.
So, Mark, when you say a landing page for that, what were you specifically asking about?
I was asking about the $29 report. If you had like a
we haven't. So you could go and have a look at aisearch.yourdigital.com, which is our current free report. It's sort of just sitting there floating out in space by itself at the moment. It will gather your email, but not a lot happens after that. So this is all brand new. This has all happened this week. Oh, Richie's gone. He's managed to disappear himself out of the chat. So this has all really just happened this week that we're talking about. You're back again. You disappeared
sorry,
there on us.
I
You left.
Went to open up that's the video trial one. So we're working through that as well. That's given Brett conniptions this week with the video generator.
The video one turned out to be a lot harder than I hoped. So we've got the AI search thing up there at the moment, but it's kind of floating in space by itself, and that's where we've got these sort of two lead magnets for both business facing, but they're kind of not really connected into the whole plan yet. So over the next week or so, that's all we've really got, because that 147 days will be 140 days this time next week, and we've got to basically start putting that proper funnel in place. We really spent, when I say we, Richie's done the bulk of the work, spent the week honing in on what the actual offer is to get 1,000 customers by Christmas. And now next week is going to be the implementation, which I feel is probably going to fall largely on my side of things. So
very much so. And I think we've been kicking the tire a lot with Buy Local NZ and with Nash Local, and going, where does this land, and where does it fit in with where we're going and what we're doing? And I think we've landed this week on we're going to use it as the lead gen. There's the outbound advertising going, hey, we fix this problem here, and we get in this, and we put it in every space. When you come along to Buy Local NZ, when you come along to Nash Local, it'll be a case of like, hey, you get this featured upgrade, and it comes with this full Google profile audit, and it has this video and these things here and that. But then the lead gen side of it is you can come in and just grab one. I mean, you're in our ecosystem. We're going to start going, we ran this deep audit on your Google profile, and we'll go and we will literally assess businesses as they come in they might be there for free. That's fine. We'll go and assess them, and we won't do it. AI will do it for us. And then we'll turn around and go, this is a business that has got this stuff really crooked over here. They're not there. This is where they're ranking, all of these things and that. And then I'll just have a video, Brett, will have video sent out to them that we've already made through AI as well, going, hey, we had a look at your business. It does this, 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 and this, because we've already got a warm contact. So we fire them over videos going, and then the follow-up.
To be fair, the buy local thing only reared its head. So we built Buy Local a while back. We've left it unattended. We've done hardly anything with it. And then in the space of a week, we had 2 people buy a featured upgrade, and all of our automated systems, because we haven't touched it for a year, were broken. Entirely my fault, because I moved stuff and I hadn't updated it. And now all of a sudden we're like, hang on a minute, this thing's actually working, and we've completely ignored it. So with some caution, Richie, I think that becomes a part of the lead magnet. But I think we need to focus. I don't think it's going to get us 1,000 customers a month before Christmas. That's part of the bigger picture.
Is that Nash Local you're talking about? Nash Local?
Buy Local.
Buy Local.
Well, there's nashlocal.org and buylocal.org.nz. And
so
Buy Local is... Oh, there you go.
We rebuilt the website, which, how long have you been rebuilding it, Brett?
That page there?
Yeah.
About 10 minutes.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool how quickly these things happen, and then we
I'm not a great fan of our new rebrand, but that's all right. I like
Well, I
this page,
noticed.
but then we click it and it's completely different. Go, Mark.
I was gonna say, Richie, I had been on your website a while back, and I noticed that it's a new website, obviously, and you transitioned. It's a new website since I looked at it, and you've transitioned your business. In a way,
Yeah.
I'm envious of it because I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to.
So you're looking at the Your Digital website.
I'm looking at Y'all Digital right
Yeah.
now.
oh yeah
Yeah. So that's a complete shift away from the old
Yes.
school. We'll do all of these things, and we've now got named products that provide specific services, and and that entire page. Well, it's funny because Richie built out that entire website in Go High Level, and then I said I'm going to redo it and basically vibe code it, and it just looks so much better than the Go High Level version. Even though we kept all the elements and everything, but it's just all the bits that you spend ages fiddling around in Go High Level, we can just now whiz it up in code.
yeah
And I think the thing is I'd been flirting with this code-based website stuff long before Richie was kind of ready for it, I think, and it took a while for him to get used to the idea that we can modify websites a different way. And I think the technology just in those 6 months improved sufficiently enough that it became viable for anybody to do it.
Yeah, yep. I'm probably where Richie. I'm probably very similar to where Richie was thinking. I remember I had a conversation with a client who was talking about AI maybe 12, 13, 14 months ago, and I said to him that I wasn't a fan. I still felt it needed to be human interacted, that authenticity was important. And I had back surgery in February. And while I was recuperating, I don't know, I had an epiphany, and I realized, holy crap, I was going to be out of business if I didn't transition. Because
yeah, very much so. Because you just can't keep up.
Yeah,
I mean, Richie spent like an entire week building the Your Digital website in Go High Level, and then I said I want to do it in code, and I did, and it literally took me a couple of hours to take what was already there. I mean, granted, all the layout and everything was already there, so I didn't have to do that bit, but to actually transition it into something that is now easily maintainable, as Richie said before, by voice, we can just go into chat and go, can you change this title to this, and it'll just go away and do it. And while it's doing that, you go and do the next thing, and you come back and it's changed. So you can't do that inside of Go High Level or WordPress builder or anything.
Like I said, I'm envious of your new site from the standpoint of, seems like you made that transition. I'm still trying to make. I'm still trying to do it.
So you're trying in the transition. You mean you're trying to determine what your actual offer is? Is that where you're at, or are you talking about?
I know what I want to. I know what I want to offer, and I have software that I've either purchased or leased to do it. But it's changing. It's changing my because I'm a 2-man, 3-man shop. It's me, and I got 2 part-time VAs in the Philippines, Richie. So transitioning while not losing business, like you mentioned, 1,000 customers by Christmas. Holy crap! That would be fantastic, even at $29. I'm just saying, I'm not.
But Mark, that only works. 1,000 customers only works if I don't touch more than 3 or 4 of them. Or 30 or 40 maybe. Is the I mean, there's going to be some exceptions where hey, this is right, or you're going to see an opportunity and just turn around and go that, and that's what I want. And I want Albert to flag the real opportunities to me, or whoever it is in the brain, or just turn around and go, hey, Richie, you need to have a deeper dive into this one. I've already proposed this, and this, and that. What do you want to do? Do you want to send them the video? and it'll go off and make the video of me talking about this, this, and this, and showing them in the video as well. And do you want me to fire that off now? And it'll just fire it off to them, and then I will have a message sent to them as well. Hey, did you get that video I sent you? It's covering off some pretty important stuff, and talk about exactly what it is, so that they think, oh my God, this guy's actually sent me this message, and stuff in that day. And then
interesting too, Richie. Like Richie, with this one, we had this person buy an upgrade on Buy Local, and because we'd neglected it for so long, all the automations were broken. And man, was that painful delivering just a few things to this one person. You know, we only had to deliver a blog post and a video and a couple of other things, and it was just a real pain to actually do it. But because the automation broke, and now we fixed the automation, it's a whole different matter. And then if 100 came in, I wouldn't care because they would just go. But because the automation broke, we really felt the pain on one person, and that's the kind of difference in scale that we're talking about.
Yeah, it's worth pursuing. So so Mark, look, we'll keep in touch over it, because we our goal here is to have a product suite that is white labeled and available to others elsewhere, that you can plug it in and put it to work, so that you're not having to do 1,000 follow-ups, that you're not, because the system will do them for you, but in a way that is smart, well thought out, proven process that we know delivers. So your job is to run the system, and if you've got a VA that helps out in doing this, this, and this at the same time and stuff and that, perfect. But I mean, you don't need, we don't need a PA anymore, because AI does a better job. And I want my emails answered, I get AI to do it. It's much better if it knows what have we got? 4 tones of voice, Brett. It knows what the tone of voice is for what the email is, and what the interactions are with that person, and it delivers it word perfect every time. So there's no point in worrying about anything else. Make it easy on yourself. And I think the other thing about AI, my attitude 6 months ago was 90% of admin jobs will be gone by the end of next year. My attitude in the last 6 weeks in particular has changed so much to, actually, people are more valuable today than they ever have been, because you can do so much more with AI, that your output is greatly increased, making you more valuable by using the right thing in the right process. I can do more. And yeah, that's and so I don't think we're devaluing ourselves as humans, that we're putting everyone out of work. There will be some jobs that are just fully replaced by AI. It's a reality. Jobs got replaced by computers when they came along, but also computers created more jobs than they ever took. And I think AI is going to do the same thing. It's going to create more jobs than it ever takes. But we're going to be so much more efficient and productive. We're going to make ourselves valuable. I think the next year I expect a big conversation to land around a 4-day work week. I think, and we're going to get paid for 4 days, not 5, right? But I think we're going to wind up seeing a real shift in that sort of middle tier roles, that are, hey, we're using these systems and tools here, and that's done, and that's done, that's done. We only need you for 4 days a week, not 5. Now, that lends itself also to, I'll just do something else as well. I mean, I may as well I could spend 3.5 days a week on that job, and I could spend 2.5 days on doing that as well. Or I'm going to have a side hustle. And Agency Turbo is designed for the 50, 60 plus side hustle. It is systems and processes that work for someone who doesn't want to be all day, every day, tapping away at the computer and doing this and stuff and that. It's like, that is exactly what we're doing. So, yeah. Anyway, all right, I could bang on about it all day, but any questions, any comments, concerns, Mark, Dawn? Dawn will be doing 2 things at once, I guarantee it, if not 48.
I'm good. I told you, Richie, when I sent you an email, I'm interested in what you got going on, because and Brett, I've heard of you by name, but I never met you till this Agency Turbo thing started. Richie, you've always impressed me. You always come up with great ideas, and I'm just curious to see what you got going on here.
Well, thanks very much, and it's we offer grandfathering as well, and those that are here at the start are our partners for life. So that we look forward to, and and we're really busy in testing and development, and we're working our way through that. But we have some pretty specific goals. We also have a mantra that we talked at length before we got going, and that we're not showy and hypey. We're not coming along going, oh, this is how $10,000 results 6 months ago, and that they fall out of the sky. We're not that at all. We are dealing with the reality of what we do and using technology to our advantage so that we can fix pain points in businesses and everything else, because we've got the biggest problem of all in this industry is credibility. So many fly-by-nighters have come along and ripped people off for thousands of dollars that when you start talking about digital marketing, you kind of get that wincing, oh, yeah, I've been down that road before. And that we're not that at all. We are here to do things at a fair price.
Well, I know you're not that. I know you're not that at all. But I will say this one other thing about AI, and I'll shut up. I don't think it's going to devastate jobs. I do think, I agree with you more, that it's going to help people become more productive. But because of AI, there have been more sketchy people doing what we do, getting involved because of AI, and that's going to be a drawback. I've already run into it.
That is the $99 lifetime SEO. That is as sketchy as buggery, because I'm sorry, but there's just no way $99 for SEO for life is something that is going to actually bring a return to that business.
And that happens every time there's this kind of sea change in something, right? There's always the people that are just going to jump on it and milk it for all it's worth. Like I watch a lot of video. Well, I've stopped watching a lot of them now, but you'd see a lot of videos where a Claude would release a new model, for example, and so it's like the latest greatest thing, and then within 2 hours, someone's on YouTube going, "Oh, I've made a deep dive into Claude Fable 5 or whatever, and I've gone and explored every corner of it," and you're like, it's taken you an hour to make the video, an hour to get it published. Like, where was the time to actually do the actual work to do this? It's all bullshit.
I agree.
And it's just news. Yeah.
There are more gurus now.
Everyone's a guru, especially in this space, and that's what we came along going. We're not doing that. We're not doing this live show every week to sell you a product. We are genuinely going, hey, we are showing and telling and actually demonstrating what we're working through, and we've openly discussed what the end goal is. We don't hide that from anyone, but our end goal to make money, of course. But we're very passionate about what we're doing. We love these systems. We love this technology, and I love the fact that it actually really does make a difference for business owners. And because my friends are all business owners, I mean that's who I hang out with. And if you're actually doing something that's positive for them, they like hanging out with you. It's a win-win, So that's the idea. All right, I've got to skedaddle. 4 o'clock.
Good weekend, guys.
I've got 29 minutes before I'm going to a triple bill concert this evening. It is a friend. He's also a customer. It's his birthday, and as I found out last night, there's actually about 12 or 15 of us going. I thought there was 5 of us, but it's quite a big crowd. And so we're going to see Train, Bare Naked Ladies, and Matt Nathanson, who I haven't seen for a while. He's really, really good. So off to do that at 4:30, and haven't been to a concert for a while. It's at my favourite venue here too, which is Ascend Amphitheatre. It's this beautiful amphitheatre right downtown.
I'm a fan of all 3 of the ones you mentioned.
Ah, awesome. Well, I haven't seen Train before, so I'm looking forward to that too. But and then tomorrow night, Ben was saying, well, Bob Dylan's playing at Ascend Amphitheatre tomorrow night, and I originally heard tickets were like $160, and I was like, nah, not that keen. But then last night I heard that they're actually like $50 or $60, and I was like, okay, that's probably in the realm. Because I've never seen.
I wouldn't pay $10.
I'm not a big fan, but I think just to see someone of that significance just once in your life, you sort of go, yeah, I saw Bob Dylan one time, and I mean, how much longer is he around for? And so to have gone and seen a Bob Dylan concert, I think would just be like, hey, I've been there, done it. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Have a great weekend, guys. I'll shut up
you
now.
too,
Bye.
Yeah, take care.
Okay.
You're right, Dawn. Dawn's busy. He'll be working.
Indeed. Very good.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Brett. You have a great weekend.
Right.
You're batching it, aren't you?
Yeah. Yep. Just the
Hey,
boys at home.
excellent. That means there's going to be
Yeah.
some steaks on the barbie. Yeah.
Well,
Hey.
that's what's happening next. Steak for breakfast today, man.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah. I
Yeah.
had a souvlaki for breakfast today. Yeah. My breakfast was my lunch. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, take care, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Ciao.
Well.